How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I want to talk to you today about my newest investment. I just bought this one this morning, and it's one that I've had brought up to me a lot over the last week, and I think even more yesterday because Dead Inside actually did a video on it, and I want to talk to you today about STPK stock, or Star Peak Energy Transition Corp. So this is a SPAC that has a lot of steam behind it. It's very similar in what they're doing to another company that I own, which I'll explain towards the end, but it's one that I think there's a lot of potential in, and I know some people will give me a hard time because some people think that I just copy other YouTubers, but I think all of us in the space are just looking at what each other are doing. We're all doing our own due diligence, and then we're just trying to come up with the best stock moving forward. So there's a lot of news on STPK that could send the stock up. I bought some shares today. If you want to know exactly how much, or you want to know exactly when I buy stocks like this, I try to update you during the videos, but if you want to know exactly when I do it and how much, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. We're growing pretty quickly on the channel too, so if you don't mind hitting the like button and the subscribe button, I really appreciate that. And if you want some free stocks through WeBull, you can get 4 free stocks if you deposit $100. There's also a link down there to BlockFi if you want to invest in Bitcoin or Ethereum or stablecoin or anything like that, and they pay you an interest rate on top of your money. So I've been doing a little bit more of that too, but I won't get too into that. But if you want that Patreon link, there's one down there too. We're over 3,000 members now, so definitely check that out if you haven't already. So President Joe Biden plans to invest $2 trillion in clean energy initiatives over the next 4 years. That's a huge amount. I mean, that's the size of some of the stimulus bills that we've been getting just in clean energy. And STPK has been getting a lot of attention this week because it's just been moving up like crazy, especially with that news that kind of came out, or people just talking about Joe Biden and what he might throw money at. You can see that just a few months ago, it was a $10 stock, just like all SPACs are, and now it's moving up like crazy. And Citron research article or tweet actually said that they are putting a $100 price target on it. So I'll hit on that in a second and tell you about another company that I like that is kind of in a similar space to this, but I'll get to that towards the end. So what is STEM doing? They are trying to reduce the energy cost for different companies, for individuals, trying to decrease the cost so that way we save money, but then also there's less of a strain on the grid. So over the coming years, we're going to have a lot of pressure put on our electric grids, and we're going to have to come up with some solution, especially if we're moving towards electric vehicles, which a lot of people think Joe Biden's going to throw a lot of money at electric vehicles, charging, the infrastructure for all that. So we're going to need some way to be able to accept all those new vehicles into our little microgrid system. So STEM is a company that is merging with STPK that does that. So right now you can see they have a model that has a couple different parts to it. So they have hardware and network integration, they have software, and then they have market participation. So they have obviously different gross margins for each of these, but you can see some of their models are quite profitable. Their software as a service is quite profitable. So just looking at how it's broken down, they have 10% in variable cost, 30% in reoccurring, and then 60% up front. So you can kind of see exactly how it's broken down between market participation, software revenue, and hardware. So this is an interesting company because of the sector that's in. I am already invested in the sector even before this company with CLSK, because if you don't know, I'm a big believer in CLSK. You can kind of see too how STEM is breaking down their different models here, their revenue growth by customer type and segment. Now, just looking at how they're growing revenue-wise, they're growing very quickly. So they are expecting to have hit 33 million last year. They're expecting 147 million this year. Now, they have been moving up a lot recently, so they are, they're not a $2 billion company or anything like that anymore. I think they're floating around a $3 to $5 billion company, maybe even a little bit more. But they have they're saying a future market of $1.2 trillion. and they're expecting to be able to get by 2026 about $1.2 billion in revenue. They're expecting an 81% compounded annual growth rate, and I think they can do really well. I think they can probably produce what they're expecting. You can kind of see how it's broken down here too. Their gross profit by their hardware and then their software. As time goes on, obviously their gross margin will go up in hardware, and this is kind of how it's breaking down. So right now they have a lot of potential, and then Citron calls it the most compelling alternative energy stock. They wrote that they were putting a $100 price target on it, and it's over a $1 trillion total addressable market. So they're saying that as opposed to other companies that are just junk companies, Citron expects STPK to become a core holding of every ESG ETF in the world. So what did Citron actually say? They tweeted this: "It's the most compelling alternative energy stock Citron has ever seen since we reversed our Tesla opinion 2 years ago. Green energy storage will be the big new story, no doubt. Real customers and revenues, huge total addressable market." Now, this is similar to another company that I own, which is Cleanspark. Cleanspark is one that I've been buying since it was $18 a share. I think this other company, STEM or STPK, is a little bit more of a pure play in the energy market. I think that's what their focus is. Cleanspark is doing a couple different things, so I like both for different reasons. So I actually added more Cleanspark and more STPK today. Cleanspark has also gone into Bitcoin mining. They also have software though that they're trying to sell as a service, and I think both will do quite well. Cleanspark is also tied to the cost of Bitcoin a little bit because they bought a Bitcoin mining company. Both I think have explosive growth, but they're a little bit different, like I said. So Cleanspark is smaller. It's under $1 billion still. But what I like with Cleanspark, and this is news as of today, well, not only do they Bitcoin mine, not only do they have contracts for the grid, they also are getting into residential microgrids. So they're working with specific homeowners in California to provide solutions. Now, this probably isn't very profitable up front, just because, you know, they're probably putting a lot of time and effort in to get used to or to start working with these residential owners. But at more scale, I think they'll get better about their processes. And I could be wrong on this. I haven't talked with them. I haven't seen anyone break that down. But I would assume that it doesn't make them a ton of money right now, but in the future, if they're able to keep on growing this out, I don't think we're going to get updates every single time that they get a residential contract in the future, because they've done that with their first two. But I think we could start to get this rolling. You can see after 1 week they got another microgrid contract. They also are mining a lot of Bitcoin. They're adding a lot of Bitcoin miners soon, so they're increasing their Bitcoin mining ability. So I find that very interesting too. As the cost of Bitcoin goes up, I'm starting to invest in Bitcoin itself a little bit, but then also in Cleanspark to help diversify into that sector. But I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you like STPK? Do you like Cleanspark? What are your thoughts going forward? Because if Joe Biden actually throws billions of dollars at these companies, or hundreds of millions, it's going to make a big difference. It's going to make a huge difference over the next 10 years. Now, both of these I plan on holding long term. Of course, with any of these, if they get to insane levels, I might reconsider trying to sell them. So if they go up to $100 a share, $200 a share in the next few months, I might consider selling them just because I feel like they might be overvalued. But I'll keep you updated on that. So let me know your thoughts. I appreciate it. If you guys want to see a video on 3 stocks I said I was going to be buying, one of which I already started buying more, actually 2 of which I started buying more, you can check out this video here from last night on 3 different stocks that I want to buy. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.